should we ever pray for the dragon, my brothers and sisters? Well, actually, the dragon never asked for prayers. So, but how? If we want to pray for the dragon, how do we do that? There are, in the beginning of my path, I was also with the same question. I want to pray for the dragon. I want to worship them. I want to do everything for the dragon. I was obsessed by the dragon. I want to give everything. But of course, I had no instructions how to pray for the dragon. Actually, there are ways to pray for the dragons. And so I did, actually. And I do a prayer for the dragon every single night ever since the beginning of my path. And that is 17 years ago. Every single night before I go to sleep, I pray for the dragon. I do it all the time. Even though I didn't even know that I was actually praying for the dragon. It's just the same like my dragon altar was made. I didn't know that I was praying for the dragon. And that is simply by showing the dragon my expressions of how I feel for them. How I feel for them ever since the first time that they come to me. The dragon moved heaven and earth, and ever since to be with us, and ever since the beginning, I always felt a little bit bad. I felt this shame actually for my human face. Even when I come before you, my brothers and sisters, I come before you with a dragon mask. I come before the dragon with shame, even though the first thing that my dragon said once I was kneeling down before the dragon is don't kneel. But I couldn't help it. I couldn't. It was a bit out of shame, but also out of how happy I was with the dragon there. But actually, how does a dragon prayer work? A dragon prayer cannot be like, that you have to come together with 50 people and saying all the same lines so that our God will be pleased. Well, actually, no, that is the wrong God that actually you are praying for. That you should be with 50 people. That we are not a religion. We are loners. We are like the dragon inside of our caves, alone. And we pray for the dragon with our mind and soul, with our heart. We pray for the dragon when we express for what we feel for them. And your voice, your words are the things the energy that opens up the gates. And that is the entire point of my dragon altar as well. My dragon altar is made to be a portal to the dragon realm. And that is what I do every single night. Ever since the first time a prayer for the dragon is talking with the dragon. And not in a different a language that nobody heard of. In your own language, my brothers and sisters. In your own language. And the things that people say, like, I pray for Tiamat as well. I talk with Tiamat all the time. I try to talk, and there is response, my brother. It's not like in religion that you don't expect a response. Here you can expect a response. Put a candle before your dragon altar. Try to do a dragon prayer. Try to do that and see if this candle will react, for example. And you will feel it, my brothers, inside of you, that the dragon will come through you once you are doing a dragon prayer. In this prayer, you should actually awaken the dragon within, but also the dragon by your side. And there are actually also some people that says, Tiamat should be prayed like that, and Tiamat is not like that, or Leviathan is not like that. And that is that is the worst thing that you can do for the dragon, because every single person is different. So every experience is going to be different. I don't have to look up to ancient texts to say what I have to say. I don't have to look up to ancient texts to say that what my experiences are. Every experience is going to be different, just like every person is going to be different. So your prayer is going to be different. Your words are going to be different. Once you want to pray for the dragon, my brothers and sisters, you need to remind yourself, you are unique. Your entire dragon eye is unique. So whatever you say to the dragon has to come from your heart. I don't want to sound cheesy with it, but it's the only way that you can do it. We are not inside of a religion with 50 people telling us what we need to do. We don't have a high priestess. We don't have that. You are the one that is the highest inside of your dragon eye. You are the one next on the side to Tiamat and the other dragon gods, the ones that created your dragon's eye. I kneel down. I do worship my dragons. I do worship all of the dragons, and I do it every single night. but I do it with a prayer. Not because the dragons ask that. Of course not. They don't ask prayers. They don't ask worship. But I do it anyway. I do it anyway because that is what sometimes people do inside of a relation. They worship each other. And that is what I do as well. I wish the dragon would be here in flesh and blood. But of course, I see that humans are still very, not ready for the dragon. Let us just say that. Excuse me. So yeah, how do you do a prayer? So I have to be honest with you. I kneel down before the dragon and I use my words. Even though the dragon said, don't kneel down, you don't need to do that. I do it anyway because I adore you. I don't, that is not something that I can actually say in words. What I feel for the dragon, it's unlike any feeling that you've ever felt. Once you are connecting with your dragon, it's a feeling of being one with them. So the first time that I felt very draconic, it's like a rebirth, that I can say, a rebirth of by the dragon's side, but there lives something inside of us that I learned at that moment, and that is what is actually praying for the dragon. They are actually praying to be with each other. So that is the best way. How do you do a prayer for the dragon? Show your heart to them, show your soul, show your love for them. That is what they want to have. I became a dragon, which unlikely. I'm the unlikely witch, you can say. Dragon witches are the unlikely witches. They use things that they never expect. The magic comes from them. The magic comes from their heart and their desires. The magic of the prayer of the dragon lives inside of you, just like everything else. You don't need books. You don't need rules. Your rules will establish by your own self, and as well as your prayers. And some of my prayers I even wrote down inside of a book, because that is what I said to the dragon with a lot of response, things like this. And that is actually a very good idea. If you pray for the dragon, you use your own words, and there is a lot of response back, or you feel something like very, very different, then you can write it down in an empty book. This could help you in a later stage. So dragon prayer, if you have a dragon prayer, then don't give it to another brother or sister, because they need to show their own words. You cannot lie to the dragon whatever you are saying. So the dragon will eventually read your mind. That is what they can do. They can read your mind. So if you do a prayer for the dragon will be there and see it all and hear it all. And if you do a prayer for the dragon, it actually should come from your heart. And that is what I try to say to you, my brothers and sisters. Well, everything that we do actually on the dragon's path should come from your heart. And like I said, that is what I hate about some people telling us what to do. And you cannot say to the dragon what you can do or what you can do not. A dragon always does what seems to be fit at that moment. And if you want to do a prayer for the dragon, you don't have to kneel down. You just can go sitting on your bed and try to use words for the dragon. That is the only thing that you need to do. Just whatever you feel most comfortable with. Because my dragon eye is unique, and so is yours. And so every dragon, just the same like every human being, is different. So when I do this, for example, I do this on my chest, and I kneel down, and I just do like this, even though the dragon doesn't ask that, but I do it anyway. But that is what I do every single night. I go below them, and that is when I find the words that I say to them. Sometimes I say how much I love them. Sometimes I say that just dragon come get me, or sometimes I say how difficult my life was at that moment, my day was at that moment. Just like someone you talk with. We are not like in a religion. In a religion they always say what you have to say, but in a spirituality you say what you want to say, what you desire to say. Because once you do a prayer for the dragon, forget about the world and forget about everything you know or think you know. All you need is your instinct, and that is what you need for a dragon prayer. You just need to have and use your instincts.